Good evening and welcome to the News Hour Agenda. Mazdas Gopal Krishnan. There's some breaking news coming in. Priyanka Gandhi Putra and Indira Gandhi gave her gold to the nation at the time of war. Listen in to what Priyanka Gandhi had to say in response to the Prime Minister's attack on the Congress party.
कैसी कैसी बहकी बहकी बातें पिछले 2 दिनों में अब ये शुरू हुआ है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी चाहती है कि आपके मंगलसूत्र और आपका सोना आपसे छीन ले। 70 सालों से ये देश स्वतंत्र है, 55 सालों जीने। इंदिरा गांधी ने अपना सोना जब जंग हुई थी अपना सोना देश को दिया। मेरी मां का मंगलसूत्र इस देश को कुर्बान हुआ है।
Let's get a quick word from Niyamika. Niyamika, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra responding to the Prime Minister saying that my mother has sacrificed her Mangal Sutra for the nation. It's a huge counter-attack coming in from the Congress leader.
Well, absolutely. As recently we have seen that how the Congress party has made a complaint to the Election Commission of India regarding the statement of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And now it is Priyanka Gandhi Vadra who has taken a direct jibe at Prime Minister Narendra Modi. She had made a counter attack on the Prime Minister by saying that it's her mother who had sacrificed her Mangal Sutra for this country, as she was basically mentioning about the assassination of the former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, as she has also mentioned that not just her mother but in fact her grandmother Indira Gandhi had in the past 55 years when the Congress party was ruling the country. At that point of time, how was there any step which was being taken by the Congress governments to take the gold from the people of this country, to take the Mangal Sutra from the women of this country? And she has also attacked Prime Minister Narendra Modi regarding the recent incidents which are taken place in the country, whether it is about the farmers' protest, by saying that so many farmers...
We'll have to, of course, see how the BJP responds to this comment of Priyanka Gandhi. But on to the top story that we're discussing, obviously, is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's remarks in Rajasthan 2 days ago, when he claimed that Congress intended to distribute people's wealth to infiltrators and people having more kids. A reference opposition has said was for Muslims of the country. But the Prime Minister has been unrelenting. On the very next day, while addressing a rally in Aligarh, Prime Minister repeated the wealth redistribution claim, and today he's doubled down on the party. He went on to cite various instances to claim that Congress tried to appease a particular community during
तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति का पर्दाफाश किया था। इतनी मिर्ची लगी है कि वो हर तरफ रहा है। कांग्रेस के जाने के बाद पहली बार शांति से शोभा यात्रा निकली है पूरे राजस्थान में, और हमारे यहां तो सूरज की पहली किरण का स्वागत भी राम राम सा से होता है। राम राम सा। कांग्रेस ने तो राम राम सा कहने वाले राजस्थान में राम नवमी पर प्रतिबंध लगा दिया था। मुझे कुछ दिन पहले की एक तस्वीर भी याद आ रही है। वो तस्वीर है कांग्रेस के शासन वाले कर्नाटका की। छोटा दुकानदार, उसको सिर्फ इसलिए बुरी तरह से पीटा, ऐसा सुन रहा था। आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं कांग्रेस के राज में हनुमान चालीसा सुनना भी
doing divisions on communal lines, calling it a sign of BJP being nervous after the first phase of polling. Congress has also moved the Election Commission seeking disqualification of Prime Minister Modi.
First, let the poor man Manmohan Singh has done his best to help the people of this country. Modi ji, let he tell what he has done to contribute to the welfare of it.
Does he not? Why should it be appeasement if I look after my brother, especially if he's not doing well?
ये इस तरह की बात करना हमारे लोकतंत्र को कमजोर करता है।
Amidst the controversy, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra meanwhile reiterated a party's plan to carry out a caste census and survey party if it comes to power.
SC, ST और OBC के लिए जैसे मेरे भाई हर जगह कहते हैं, पूरी गिनती की जाएगी पूरी इन सब की, और कौन कितना कमा रहा है, और उसके तहत फिर नई नीतियां बनाई जाएंगी। आरक्षण की सीमा 50% से बढ़ाया जाए, विशेष बजट जारी किया जाएगा और काडू गोला समाज को एसटी का दर्जा दिया जाएगा।
But while Congress and India bloc leaders have trained their guns on Prime Minister Modi and the BJP, Congress's own leader, its candidate from South Goa, has kicked up a storm with his remark upon Goa. He further goes on to say that he shared the same with Rahul Gandhi, who was then the Congress president. He's added that while Goa was liberated in 1961, a constitution that was made and implemented, that he had a point.
Is it constitutional? I mean, no. No discussion. I said, sorry. I said, sir, please listen. Constitution was implemented on 26 January 1950. We were not part of India. And in Chennai 1961 आम्ही लिबरेट झाले ते कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पण तुम्ही पास केले जाका आमका तुम्ही इन्क्लूड करू ना ते हाडून आमचे तकलेर मारले. And now तुम्ही आमका सांगता that it is unconstitutional. तुझ्या म्हणे ग्रँडफादर हू द फर्स्ट प्राईम मिनिस्टर आझाद मैदानार स्पीच दिल्ली that the people of Goa will decide their destiny. आमची हुई डेस्टिनी आणि कोणे डिसाइड केली म्हणे. ताणे आपणाचो ओएसपी हांगा ताका विचारले. He's got a point म्हणपाक लागले. When the constitution was made and implemented, Goa was not part of India.
And amidst the political row, Congress candidate in his defense has said that his remarks were being twisted. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched a blistering attack on the Congress party, accusing it of conspiring to break India after being rejected by people. Calling Goa Congress candidate's remarks an insult to Babasaheb Ambedkar's constitution, Prime Minister Modi further warned the people, saying that if Congress is today rejecting the constitution in Goa, tomorrow it will do the same in the entire country.
पहले कर्नाटका से कांग्रेस के सांसद ने कहा कि दक्षिण भारत को अलग देश घोषित कर देंगे. अब कांग्रेस के गोवा के उम्मीदवार कह रहे हैं, वो साफ साफ कह रहे हैं कि गोवा पर देश का संविधान थोपा गया और उन्होंने ये बातें कांग्रेस के साहबजादे को बताई है. कांग्रेस का उम्मीदवार कह रहा है कि गोवा में संविधान नहीं चलेगा. ये सोची समझी चाल है देश को तोड़ने की. आज गोवा में संविधान को नकार रहे हैं, नकारने का पाप करेंगे लोग.
You're watching the News Hour at 10. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Of BJP, Dr. Anand Raghunathan is with us. He's an author. Also with us is Tehseen Poonawalla political analyst. Ghanshyam Tiwari is spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. Priyanka Bharti is national spokesperson of the RJD. Let me start first and foremost with the subject of what we are debating, Tehseen Poonawalla. At the end of the day, it's a massive war of words. You heard the Prime Minister today speaking, and he said that I spoke the truth और उनको मिर्ची लग गई है opposition leaders को.
Madhav, thank you for having me on the show. Whichever side of the political divide we may be, and I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister, he's the senior most and most powerful leader our country has seen in recent times. For him to stoop down, and I say this with a lot of heartbreak because he's my Prime Minister, and give them to Ghuspetias, doesn't behove the Prime Minister of the greatest country in the world. He doesn't behove him. If after 10 years of him being Prime Minister, there are Ghuspetias in this country, he should send his resignation to the President of India and come on your show and apologize to the people of India. Who's Mangal Sutras? Who's Mangal Sutra? The poorest of poor. Today, India's debt has increased, their debt has increased. His rich. Mangal Sutra, who was removed, whose husbands died in oxygen, where oxygen the government of India took GST on. Who is Mangal Sutra is he talking about? Where in that manifesto is it written that Congress will take people's gold in Mangal Sutra? What Rahul Gandhi said in Andhra Pradesh, in Telangana, was very simple. That there has to be a plan to redistribute resources based on government jobs and opportunities to the weakest and the poorest. And what are these poorest? Allow me one example and I'll end. In Bihar, where the caste survey is done, because you're speaking in case of the caste census. The Brahmins in Bihar, Madhav, you must hear this, the Brahmins in Bihar in some sections are more poor than Muslims and Dalits. Don't they require government resources? If you're talking about empowering the poor, the Prime Minister says unka Mangal Sutra lege. Show me where it's written and how can the Prime Minister make statement? It breaks my heart.
Sanju Verma. Tehseen Poonawalla saying that A, it is not specifically written anywhere, that comment of the Mangal Sutra, so therefore it is not justified. And B, you heard what Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has said. The Congress is taking the fight right back and the Vadra are not going to take these comments lying down. Your response?
You know, Madhav, I don't care what comments, nor do I care about what Rahul Gandhi has to say or does not have to say. And as far as Tehseen Poonawalla goes, what I find absolutely hilarious is the fact that he starts off by saying, my honorable his resignation. This Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has been elected by a massive thumping majority of almost 240 million, as in 24 crore people. He's not going to listen to what somebody like a paid panelist like Tehseen Poonawalla has to say about his credibility.
Why are you getting
quiet?
Comment about you or any other panelist? Why do we have to resort to this? Please, let's keep things civil between us. You can debate whatever you want to debate, but let's not counterattack.
The Prime Minister to resign.
Yeah, one second.
Thank you.
Please make your point without getting personal.
Yes. Madhav, you know, this very interesting narrative about why the Prime Minister mentioned about Mangal Sutras, why he mentioned about Stridhan. And I will tell you, being a woman myself, and I'm sure what I say holds true for a lot of the women folk, not only Hindu women folk, but women folk cutting across caste and religion divides.
Yes, kindly do that.
Please go back and read, please go to the Kerala Parliament where people asked him, including the Kerala State BJP chief, why is an imam paid 8,000 rupees a month, but a poor pujari of Travancore board, a poor pujari of Malabar board, a poor pujari of Cochin board, he does not get more than 20. Digest hard facts, too bad.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is Hindu property.
The Devaswam minister, and I've just checked on the Kerala website, is K. Radhakrishnan, and he is the Devaswam minister. Mr. Rahman may be the minority minister, and I don't know if what you've said justifies that money is being taken from Devaswam board to the minority affairs ministry. Tehseen Poonawalla, please respond to this.
Very short. I'm stunned. I'm appalled that such, and thank you for fact checking, such communal statements and dog whistling is happening on the national TV. But there are two things I want to say.
It's a fact.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Madhav has only asked you a question.
It's okay, Sanju Verma. Let him respond. You've spoken now. Let him respond to what you said. Yes. Tehseen. Tehseen. To ask the question of Kerala government.
Madhav, when
please respond.
Yes. First of all, Madhav, when you very kindly called me on your show, we are discussing my Prime Minister's comments on the Congress manifesto. What the fish does Kerala, which is the left government, have to do with the Congress manifesto? Does it make any logic, Madhav, to you? Secondly, if temples are under government control, we have Dr. Anand Ranganathan on this show. Please cut into Dr. Anand Ranganathan. He's been one of the pioneers in saying make temples free. Why doesn't this government bring in a law to make temples free across the country? State governments will have to follow. इसमें कांग्रेस के मैनिफेस्टो में क्या लिखा हुआ है कि लेफ्ट का गवर्नमेंट कुछ कर रहा है and you're coming and communalizing it? It makes no sense. Now, my larger point that I am here for, Sanju, yaar, please, yaar, be a little courteous.
Sanju Verma, nobody interrupted you. We just checked on certain facts. Please extend the same courtesy to Tehseen.
Please. Thank you. Now for the third and last point. The Prime Minister was clearly dog whistling, Madhav. We all know that. 6 bachche paida karege, ghuspaitiya. All of this, apart from dog whistling, is dehumanizing to the country. Now, the Prime Minister is very confident he's going to get 400 plus seats, or the ND is going to get it. If you are going to get it, why would you dehumanize a community? Why would you dog whistle? What is the reason? And the only reason I can think of is what Akhilesh Ji said. 102 seats, they are wiped out. So something is amiss, and I think the BJP is rattled about it, and therefore the Prime Minister is now dog whistling.
Okay, these comments are coming because the BJP, the Prime Minister are all rattled after the first phase of voting. We've heard that comment coming in from different...
You know, Prime Minister has not used the word Muslim, but they say that the Prime Minister is dog whistling. By the virtue of that same logic, I can ask the Congress party. The Congress party says the laws of religious minorities. Now, I want to ask you simple, basic common sense. Hindu Marriage Act of 1955 is codified. Parsi Marriage Act and Divorce Act of 1936 is codified. Hindu Inheritance Act and Succession Act of 1956 is codified of minorities. They are talking of Muslims because the Sharia Act of 1937 is not codified. So who's dog whistling? It is not Narendra Modi, who's dog whistling.
I want Ganchap. Let me let Ganchap.
Codified in 1930s.
Okay.
Dog whistling, it is Mallikarjun Kharge, who's dog whistling. It is K.C. Venugopal, Tehseen Poonawalla. Shed your hypocrisy for a change.
Personal loss?
Good evening, Madhav, to you, the viewers, and fellow co-panelists. In the interest of viewers, I will stick to the agenda of the debate and the election. One, what the Prime Minister said is deadly hate speech and obnoxious propaganda. May I suggest through this platform, in the august presence of Honorable Sanju Verma, that Election Commission should make Charlie Chaplin their grand ambassador. that will communicate to the entire country that they celebrate when the PMO, Prime Minister's website itself, on 10 December 2006, notes the clarification of Dr. Manmohan Singh for Prime Minister to use his speech. Dr. Manmohan Singh, whose degree is verifiable, whose marital status is verifiable, not even the erudite Sanju Verma can.
Minister, the BJP will start launching personal attacks on Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Let's keep this. Let's stick to the subject of the debate. You said you wanted to stick to the subject of debate. Now you're personally attacking the Prime Minister. Please avoid this, Ghanshyam. Please. Just as I've asked Sanju Verma not to attack personally any of the panelists, I'm requesting you as well. In the interest of this debate, kindly stick to the subject at hand rather than making personal attacks. Let's not do this, please.
I praised Dr. Manmohan Singh. I did not make any personal attack on Mr. Modi.
No, please. It's quite obvious what you were saying. It's very obvious what you were saying. Ghanshyam, let's not go down that road. Please, let's not waste the viewers' time. Please stick to the subject and carry on.
Coming to the substantial point, it is absolutely clear that Prime Minister faces an uphill task in his retirement plan. That people of India want an agenda of day-to-day betterment of lives, which is jobs, which is fighting price rise, which is keeping our country progressive, democratic, harmonious, and which is respecting women from those such as Braj Bhushan, who have great support of Prime Minister and Home Minister. That is the agenda of this country. The Prime Minister has tried very hard to fool them. He is not successful, and the more he tries hard, the more he will secure his retirement plan.
Dr. Ranganathan, yes.
The BJP needs to have a rebuttal. Ghanshyam has been abusing the Prime Minister ad nauseum.
Okay, quick response, please. Yes, respond.
Thank you. Ghanshyam Tiwari is a well-educated, and the most important stakeholders in today's debate are Madhav's audience. It is not Ghanshyam or Sanju Verma. 31% of PM Awas Yojana allocated to minorities, especially Muslims. 33% of Ayushman Bharat allocated to minorities, especially Muslims. 34% of PM Kisan Yojana allocated to Muslims. 37% of PM Mudra Yojana allocated to minorities, especially Muslims. 3.4 crore minorities, young Muslim men and women included, got scholarships. And under Narendra Modi's first term, 5.9 crore minorities, including young Muslim men and women, got scholarships for higher education under Narendra Modi's second term. 4,300 women and 4,200 young Muslim women went for Hajj in 2022 without a male accomplice. और आप यहाँ बैठकर नरेंद्र मोदी को
That is why this is तुष्टिकरण. This is तुष्टिकरण. और माइनॉरिटीज की बात करें तो बोलेगा खुद टाइम पे कहेगा हमने ये किया. ये तुष्टिकरण है. देखिए कांग्रेस is saying Brahmins are behind in Bihar. They should get same opportunities. And what are they doing? See what are they doing? This is तुष्टिकरण. ये तुष्टिकरण की राजनीति को खत्म करना है.
Okay. Sanju Verma, the shoe fits on both the feet. This is Tushti-karan, says Tehseen. Please respond to him.
With such
Madhav, let me tell you one thing. What the Modi government has said. It has said, now please Tehseen, you asked a question, let me respond. The Modi government is very clear. Tehseen, please. Thank you. Madhav, the Modi government is very clear. And I remember Amit Shah saying this in as many words on your conclave. Do we support reservation? Yes. Do we support reservation on the basis of socially and educationally backward divides? Yes. Do we support reservation on the basis of religion? No. What is the Congress doing in Karnataka? It wants to bring in reservation on the basis of religion. What is the Congress trying to do in Telangana? Bring in reservation on the basis of religion. We are against reservation on the basis of religion, but we will support reservation on the basis of the fact that you're socially marginalized. Your state-sponsored machinery.
Okay. Let me bring in.
To understand.
Yeah. Let me bring in other panelists who've barely spoken. Priyanka Bharti, we are not against anything. We are not against anything which talks about social justice. But there are, and she's right, there are various court orders where courts have struck down religion-based reservation. It's happened in different states of the country in the past. You would very well know that.
Madhavji, first of the loser, and Narendra Modi knows that he has lost the battle. That's why he is coming here and speaking here and there about and giving communal remarks. Now let's come to social justice. If Narendra Modi is not against social justice, why his party is against caste census? We have done caste census in Bihar and we have increased reservations to 75%. Why are they not talking of removing the cap of 50% and increasing the reservations to 75%? Why Narendra Modi did not do anything against the casteist remark of against the casteist remark of when, what was his name? When he said that Arakshan ki samiksha honi chahiye, Bhagwat. Why he didn't do anything regarding it? In India, they are against social justice, they are against the backwards, and they do not want representations of the OBCs.
Dr. Ranganathan, please respond to what Priyanka Bharti is saying.
Let me quote from Times of India, because then that would be clearer. You know, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on Saturday promised that if the Congress is voted to power, the party would conduct a survey to run a check on who possesses the wealth in the country and undertake an exercise to redistribute the same. So they will undertake a survey. They will find out 1.4 billion people, how much wealth is owned by each one of them. And redistribution. If a family, the family has 1 kilo of gold and you cannot have so much of money, so much of gold, so much of Mangal Sutra, what is to be done? This is why I'm saying that these harebrained people who develop these manifesto
Ghanshyam wants to come in on that. Yeah.
I think the definition of hate speech is clear from the way Supreme Court defined it. I leave it to the judgment of your viewers that is it fair for Prime Minister to indulge in this kind of hate speech in the face of a rout that he faces. Because for your viewers, unemployment is an issue. Prime Minister will not talk about it. For your viewers, the fact that I did not interrupt anybody. For your viewers, it is an issue that the Prime Minister promised that petrol will be 50 rupees, cylinder will be 500 rupees, bahut hui mehengai ki maar, and it went to 13,000 crores in donations in just 10 years, more than all other parties combined.
All right, Ghanshyam, please stay with us.
Dhandalo model.
Ghanshyam, please stay with us. There's some big news coming in from your party, I'm told. Let's quickly put out that information coming in. In fact, the information is that Akhilesh Yadav is likely to replace Tej Pratap Yadav from Kannauj. He's met with local leaders from Kannauj. The Kannauj cadre are not happy with the candidates by tomorrow, and that he's likely to reach Kannauj on Thursday. The last date of nomination also is in fact very close. That's the latest update coming in. Interesting development. Akhilesh Yadav to replace Tej plan is what we understand, and now Akhilesh Yadav likely to be contesting is what we are told at the moment. So big development there coming in from Uttar Pradesh. Ghanshyam, what do you make of this?
Madhav, if we all remember, and your viewers will also remember, that in Abki Baar 400 par, BJP said Uttar Pradesh mein 80 par. The kind of rout that they are facing in Uttar Pradesh under the leadership of Akhilesh Yadav, the way people have stuck together and said that this government will be routed, Prime Minister Modi will be routed, has led to a greater demand from people for leadership of Akhilesh Yadav ji. His leadership is visible from each constituency, and I am sure that the party across the state will welcome his decision to contest.
Okay, Adib is also joining us at the moment. Adib, quick update. What's happening in UP?
Well, as for the sources, Akhilesh Yadav might replace Tej Pratap Yadav from the Kannauj seat. The Kannauj cadre of Samajwadi Party is not very happy with Tej Pratap Yadav being fielded from Kannauj, as they were saying, demanding that Akhilesh Yadav himself should contest from this particular seat, as it was the bastion of Samajwadi Party. However, Samajwadi Party lost this seat in the by-polls, but the cadre of Samajwadi Party is demanding Akhilesh Yadav. Few of the leaders also met Akhilesh Yadav. A meeting was going on at Akhilesh Yadav's residence, and after which Akhilesh Yadav has said that he will decide it by tomorrow whether he is going to fight on Kannauj seat or not. And it is being told by our sources that Akhilesh will travel to Kannauj on Thursday, which is the last day to file the nominations for the Kannauj seat. So it is being highly speculated.
All right, so interesting developments coming in even before the second phase of polling there. I'd like to thank you, Adib, for joining us with that quick update. Also like to thank Priyanka Bharti as well as Dr. Anand Ranganathan for joining us on the first debate. Moving on to